Mm. Well, so I'm so pleased and really happy. And I have to say it's an honor, really an honor for me to be able to see women and speak to women from all over the world, different places that we never ever would have probably met ever. And we're connected. So this is really a beautiful thing. And and I want to say, part of prophecy, if you know anything about prophecies and the coming of the sacred feminine, because this is what this is all about. Um, Also, know more people coming. Thank you for coming. And so I did read some of the questions, and I will try my best, of course, to respond. And I also had said to Michal that sometimes when I'm asked to speak, um, you know, people say, well, tell us what you're going to speak about or give us a category. And that's really difficult because when I say that the grandmothers, so I speak, say the grandmothers are speaking, and these are the beings, the spirit beings, the grandmothers that I say, call them the grandmothers because they are very old ones that have spoken to me since childhood and that I've been in contact with them as well as many other beings and elemental. So from the time I was a child, I had some very significant and unusual phenomena in my life. And maybe some of you might be able to identify along those same lines. And I think that as children, many of us did have these wonderful, mysterious experiences. And just to say, just to identify a few, as a child, I could see what we call auras around people, the beautiful colors, auras, light. And that was one thing I just thought, well, everybody saw those things, and I had connectedness to what we call the Wakhan Ja. Wakhan Ja in Lakota is the little people. So the little people are beings. Well, some of them are mischievous. Some of them are helpers. Some of them like to take things, shiny things from you, and they may return them or not. But most often they're just trying to get your attention. But I had these kinds of experiences growing up, and my grandmother, who is heritage is Irish and Natachok Lenape, Delaware, which is indigenous to this country, United States, here on Turtle Island. So, and she knew the little people were contacting me, and she would talk to me about the fairy people, the fairy nation, and the little people, and so on. And she had what we call the sight. If any of you know what that means, I was born that way as well. Some of you also may have been born that way. It's in the old way, we call it the sight, where you see things other people do not see, where you see things and know things that other people don't know. So, and a lot of times we get in trouble when we're a child because we may say certain things or explain or try to explain things about, well, what we know and what we see, but people look at us like, that you're an odd one out. And as you get older, it could be like, well, you're just plain crazy. So, you learn how to be quiet. You learn very early on, maybe, to keep what you know in your heart to be true, quiet, and you don't talk about those things. So, and talking about the prophecy of the return of the sacred feminine was given to me over 30 years ago. And I was telling Michal that we were talking about women's circles because someone wrote and said they want more or they desire more connection with the women, which would be really important, and how to go about that. And that relates to prophecy, actually. So the prophecy is telling us women to come together, return to the sacred circles of women, okay, again, as we had once in past lives, and to receive the teachings of the grandmothers. So that means the grandmothers in spirit, to receive the guidance and the teachings. So, and I was told that over 30 years ago through guidance that I needed to begin to bring women into circles. And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. Not me. I have nothing to say. I'm not, no, I'm not me. Don't look to me. That was my reply. No, I'm not going to go there. So, it's like I was refusing, because first of all, I had no clue what they were talking about, what they were asking me to do. I didn't know why. I felt like I was insignificant. I felt like I have nothing to say. Nothing. I'm not significant. Who wants to listen to me anyway? What could I say? So there was a 2-year period of a constant asking me, telling me, you must do this and so on, which led to an experience, a profound vision given to me, which is another story. So I have a lot of stories, but we could sidetrack to that story. But right now, I want to just say that it was a profound vision given to me. And it put me in this place where I had to make a decision. So I say we're always come upon two roads, two paths in our life periodically. Well, you're going to take that path or this path. We will always be asked to take a pathway to move forward. And this is where we are now in our lives. So how are we moving forward? What is the guidance, asking us to do to move forward in our life? So the experience, the vision was so profound that I agreed to begin to call women into circles. But I said, I don't know what to talk about. I don't know what to say. And the Spirit said, we will guide you. And this is about prophecy of the return of the sacred feminine. And they said, there will come a time when women will be leading the way. Now, that was 30 years ago. And we are in that time now. But I said, why do we have to do this? Why do we? I was like, why do women have to do this? And they told me, because you can, you are able, you have wisdom within you. You were given the wisdom, you were given the sacred tools, the medicines, the way, the healing ways, the knowledge and the wisdom and the ability to lead the way. But you must heal first. And the circles, when I called the women into circles, I was given these ways to heal women. Now, it's sort of like the generations of sorrow, excuse me, or let's say that what we carry in our own heart spirit from our mothers, our grandmothers, our great-great-grandmothers, that goes back for generations and generations of the sorrow of their experience in their life, the trauma, the sorrows, the grief, and the times they were silenced. So we know these stories, but we carry that within our cellular being. And now, in our lifetime, we need to heal these so we can become, I guess you'll say, the warrior, the spiritual warrior. And it's not the angry, raging, fighting warrior. That's not what this is about. That's not who we are. We are healers. We are life givers. And if you haven't given birth, you are a mother, an auntie, a grandmother, a sister to children. You love children. It's innate within us. We love the little children. So this is about ourselves as the sacred feminine, the healers, the original wisdom keepers. as you know, the stories of what happened to the original wisdom keepers. I don't think I have to go back through our history of telling you about the Inquisitions, the whole story. Now, some of us lived in those lifetimes. Some of us experienced those times, and we've returned here in this lifetime now to come into a space, a place of our true self, the sacred feminine. And I do want to say this is not just about the sacred feminine. This is about the sacred feminine slash sacred masculine. It's sort of like the balance, bringing the original being, sacred feminine, sacred masculine, harmony and balance that once was present during, you could say, well, we could go back to the goddess cultures, the original. I don't like to use the term religion, but I think you probably know. It's the way of the mother, the way of the sacred mother, the way of what we call the earth ways, you know, being on the earth, using the gifts the Creator Mother gifted you, your tools, your medicines, your gifts, your knowledge, your wisdom, for the good of the whole, all right? Not to be in fear. So part of our original essence is fearlessness, like we're fearless. You know, we're like in awe of everything. We're, I guess you'd say, as a little child, go back to that when you were knowing who you really were, your sacredness, the wisdom that you had. Did you talk to the spirit in the woods, to the fairy people, you know, the beings that nobody else saw? Oh, they say, oh, my little daughter has a friend. She has a friend. She talks to her all the time. Isn't that cute? It's so cute. So then, but to you, there is a being there. There's a sense of something there beyond. And it's normal. It's natural. It's who you really truly are. So what happened to that? What happened to the creativity without fear, without shame? What happened to the wondrous little child, the fearless one? What happened? So these are the things we want to know. We want to find out. We need to heal these, I'm going to call them dark seeds, the dark seeds that were planted inside of us that crushed our spirit. So now the time of the healing and the women leading the way is very vital and crucial. So how can we lead the way for others to bring harmony and balance and peace if we're angry, if we are in fear, if we have self-doubt, if we despise ourselves? All these dark seeds that were planted that you may have latched onto and believed them, not right away, because remember, we knew who we really were. We were little warriors. And when somebody says, well, that's silly, or there's really nobody you're talking to, and don't do that anymore because people will think you're crazy. You know, you don't know what you're talking about. Be careful. Don't say those things because people won't like you. You have to comply. You must behave. You must get into this box in order, okay, to be acceptable. We all experience those things, but meanwhile, inside of yourself, your innate nature, your fundamental nature, was saying, I can't do that. I cannot do that. How could I do that? And you fight it. We fought it. I know I did. I did. But you're small, you're vulnerable, and all we really need is love. We need to be validated. Our sacredness, our awesomeness, our original essence, beautiful, sacred little beings, you know, needed to be validated, and perhaps it wasn't. So now what do you do? What do you do to survive? In order to survive, when there's a lot of crushing of spirits going on, when there's, I would say, just where you're told that you're insignificant, that you have no value, and that your beautiful painting, this is a story, this wonderful boy, he was 8, 9, wonderful artist. And when he went to school in the first day or second day of art class, so the teacher asked the children to draw a tree and paint the tree, which they did, of course, but the day this boy came home and he was very sad, very sad. I said, what's the matter? Oh, I hate art class. He goes, I hate my teacher, my art teacher. I said, what? What happened? And he told me the story that they were asked to draw a tree and paint the tree, which he did. And he said the teacher was going through the room and picking up the students' pictures and talking about them. And when she came to his desk, she picked up his little picture and she said, now, children, we know that trees are not purple, right? And she shamed him, devastated him. And that was it for him. So his spirit was crushed, his vision, his knowledge, his wisdom, his ability to see beyond what we are trained to see. We are trained to see a tree very early on is this shape, has branches, has green leaves, it's brown, sometimes gray. That's a tree. Or the tree is a birch, it's white with black, but that's the tree. Okay. A dog is a dog. A cat is a cat. A horse is a horse, and this is what a horse looks like. And that's how we are trained. And forget that you might see shimmering light around that tree. Forget that you might see beautiful colors. No, that's not allowed. So your spirit becomes crushed, and held into this box where now you're only allowed expression according to the system's indoctrination. So where are you? What happened to your original essence? So there you are. To survive, you comply. In order to survive. It's very scary out there, and you're just that little person, and you have tried, and you have fought hard to really speak your truth and say, but wait, I know, look, no, unacceptable. And so there you are in a box, and over time, so there's this thing that happens to us. In order to survive, we abandon our own self. We abandon our own self. So we survived, but we're in a box, or sometimes we put ourselves on an island. So I escaped to an island, put myself on an island with a big moat big moat around me. So I was safe. That's where I was safe. So I acted like a person, or I thought I was acting like a person. This is how you talk, and this is how you act, and this is how you relate to people. This is what you do in society to be accepted. You must comply, or I'm going to say you will die, because it feels like it when you're so little and nobody's there for you and you're by yourself. And even those, the fairy, the angel, the little people, the beings, even though they are there for you, they do, they do surround you and help you. We are in a system, a society where we must comply in the beginning. So here we are today. What are the seeds, I would say the negative seed planted in you? Maybe there were many. You want to identify them. Okay, so that we can basically heal these dark negative seeds and replace them with the seeds of light, the seeds of beauty, the seeds of the mother's love for her sacred children, the truth of who you really are, you see.